Good morning, Cowboy Jim up here in Fort McMurray, and just kind of getting ready to go out and get my day started and fire up my old Dodge and hear it rumble and head downtown and do some stuff. And I just wanted to, I was just watching Kamala Harris, Vice President of the United States of America, and Joe Biden, and he's, well, I'm not sure he knows he's there, but he is, and they are lauding the great success of nominating and getting voted into a positional place in power and ascertaining, disseminating, and understanding the law in the United States of America. And they are running their mouths, and oh my, I, I heard somewhere that Joe Biden was an Irishman, and I'm rather sad about that. I know some Irish are quite confused, and myself, I'm not excluded from that group. But I watched this vile, and not because the new nominee to the Supreme Court is a lady. No. Because if you listen to anything that I comment on, I anticipate a woman to have a higher IQ, mental acuity than her counterpart in the mail department. I don't mean the envelope department, but nonetheless. And I hear these people speak about justice, and I realize justice is a perception. It's how you, through your perspective, look at a situation. And they're touting this as being a remarkable thing, that the first black lady has been nominated to the Supreme Court. And they don't understand, politicians tend not to understand that we have long memories. When they work well. 20 odd years ago, there was a president in the United States of America by the name of Bush. It was right in the era of 9/11. And this time, Biden put forth his choice back in several months ago, and he said he wanted a black woman to be on the Supreme Court. Now, let's just review that for a second. He wanted a black woman. Why? Why? As opposed to, say, a white woman, of whom there are people on the Supreme Court who certainly were women and are women and were white. But why would the President of the United States of America preface his choice for a black woman to be on the Supreme Court? Because it is what is called politically expedient. Let's go back to 20 odd years ago when there was a guy whose name was Bush, last name Bush. I liked his dad. I wasn't sure about President Bush, but I prayed for him anyways, every day. And he wanted to put a legal, knowledgeable person in the Supreme Court. That was his game plan. He wanted to pick a person for the Supreme Court who would reflect well law and order. And his choice probably had certain political considerations to it, because he chose a lady. She was not white, never had been. She was a black lady of unusual intelligence. Apparently, she was a bright child. Well, apparently, so too is this lady that Joe Biden has nominated. Now, she could not give the definition of what a woman is because it's not politically expedient to do that. I mean, you run from all these decisions that would have ramifications on whether or not the party who has put you forth as a member of the Supreme Court will it adversely affect their ability to get reelected if you perchance represent the laws that are on the books in the United States of America. Of course, it's nothing to do with us, but then it has everything to do with us, because we have a prime minister who marched with Black Lives Matter. And do Black Lives matter? Yes, they do. Any more than white lives? No, they don't. Sorry, they don't. Any more than, say, Mexican or Spanish-looking people from South America? No, they don't. Black Lives Matter more than Chinese, Russian people? Chinese? Ukrainian? No, they don't. Because the value in a person cannot be determined by the pedigree of that person, their origin, their beliefs system of the country that they came from. It can't. It cannot. So Bush, so many years ago, nominated a super intelligent woman who was black. But these politically expedient people in the United States of America, the Democratic Party, voted against her. And she didn't get to be a member of the Supreme Court. Why? Because she was a woman? No. Because she was black? No. But the criteria for Joe Biden, as expressed by himself shortly after Christmas in that neck of the woods, was he wanted a woman who was black. He got a woman who was black. There was another black woman, also Democrat, also a judge, who was and is better qualified to be on the Supreme Court than this Jackson lady who got on the Supreme Court. What do you mean less qualified, less experienced? This one who got elected, very personable. And some of the Democrats who were fawning over her, oh, gee, it sounded like they shared the bed this morning or something. I mean, like the effervescent running off at the mouth about how wonderful the lady was. Her skin color was wonderful because it was appropriately dark and or appropriately light, even though dark. because her education was so great. Same education as Bush's lady back 20 years ago, who was also black, who was also a lady. She would answer questions because she wasn't afraid of them. Because her answers were not determined by political correctness. But that's what's going on here. That is what's going on here. And it shows a level of justice that should not be there. I mean, it shouldn't be there. It shouldn't be there. Thank God. I thought it said 19, not 10. So the Democratic Party down in the States, fawn over, spelled F-A, I think U-N, could be W-N, fawn, I'm not sure. I don't even have a Webster's dictionary, and I don't know how to use a stupid laptop in order to ascertain the correct spelling. Bummer, eh? So I use the spelling check thing on my iPhone. Why is it important that justice be meted out fairly? Is there a level of justice for the poor and also a level of justice for the rich? Yes. Yes, there is. Is it correct? Should it be that way? No. Is it that way? Yes. There's not a singular question. And if ever you pondered the question and you said, you mean justice, the application of the law varies by how much money you have in your wallet, in your bank account, how much you're worth, your family name. Yeah, it does. The justice for the blue-collar workers in America and in Canada are identical to the justice of the poor. Do you know that I had the privilege and the honor of meeting a young man who, for reasons that I don't know, unless it is just because I'm so simple, would be, implemented a systematic approach to abusing me. It would be called, and I don't like using this word, it would be called elder abuse. And the reason, I don't think I look elderly. Perception, my choice. But in the process of my realizing what was going on with that young man at work, and finally tweaking on to what he and his psychiatric nurse lady were up to, and the full understanding of what they demanded from me. And that was, they demanded that I book myself into a mental institution. Well, I'm Irish, okay? And they demanded that I give them power of attorney over my life so that they, it wasn't said, could steal my sons and grandchildren's inheritance from me. And I was so inundated with their process that I could not think correctly, not clearly, not at all. Ruined more than just a loss of money, stuff, things. That didn't hurt nearly as much as my inability to answer questions, my inability to cogently, coherently give response to a situation at work. And here is where justice comes in, or the lack thereof. Canadian legal system. That young man assaulted me at work. I let him beat me. It was the hardest thing that I have ever done. I I had prayed about it for about 6 weeks. I knew it was going to happen eventually. And I prayed, I said, God, don't let him punch me in the face, because I will fight back. I said, if you could find some other way, but don't let me see the punch coming, because I will defend myself. I can. Fought in the Canadian Championship in Judo in 1970 in Toronto at the CNE, October 1970. I could have taken that boy, half my age and half again my size. No trouble, but I didn't. And what he didn't realize was, at work, they got him on video. Do you know that they charged him that night with assault? Do you know that that was last June, early June? Had I known how to run my Facebook, I missed a message on July 5th last year. Probably would have changed my life, but I missed it. I didn't get it for 2 or 3 months. But let's go back to this thing. At work, they got him on video, really doing a number on me. Only broke one rib. I've commented many times, for a pussy to punch you and only break one rib, well, that's pathetic. He finally entered his plea in February of this year. He delayed it 4 or 5 times all the way around. He entered a plea of not guilty, which was quite surprising, except that's what people do. They're not guilty until they have to be judged by a judge and a jury, and this should go to jury trial. And they hope that there might be a failure in the system so that they get off scot-free. And I understand that. The court date, remember, early June, the court date does not take place until December 3rd of this year. You say, hey, there's a scripture. When justice is not meted out, carried out in a quick manner, the people grow lax in their care concern about what they're doing. They commit offenses more often. Okay, let's go back. Justice. Now, that young man that assaulted me makes $120,000 to $140,000 a year. His lady probably makes very close to that, and they can afford to play the system, and they do, and they are. But a poor man can't, and a regular blue-collar worker can't. So are there 2 levels of justice? Yes. Is it fair? No. Is it real? Yes. It's the way it is. So we watch Joe Biden, and we know about his son's laptops. And I pose this question one more time. Is justice fair? No, it's not. Why? Because it is administered by the interpretation of the people who are disseminating, tearing apart, looking at law. But law and order is what we need. It is premised on Scripture. because God said, I change not. Neither does his word. Accept it, reject it, who cares? It's your choice. Justice? What justice? Which one? Justice for the poor? Justice for the rich? You see, we used to live in a country where you are innocent until you're proven guilty. Now, the victim is the one that they look at. Law and order, study. What is he doing that is deceiving us into believing that he is innocent? No one's innocent, especially the ones who have been charged. But you have to use due process. You have to take that law and apply it outside of political, religious, financial belief systems. Therein is the crux. God bless you. And I hope you have a good day. I hope you don't ever get sideways of the law. You'll be disappointed. That's a fact. Especially if you're the victim. Hey, I'm not a victim. I was a victim. I'm not a victim. I don't have a victim mentality. I have an Irish perspective. God bless you.